but also it gives you an insane pump, guys. You're gonna love the pump after today's workout. Hi, I'm Mark McKillier with Live Anabolic, and today I'm gonna show you 5 fantastic exercises to get jacked arms, even if you're over 40. Hell, I'm 62 and I want big arms, so this workout is for you. Now guys, when I put this workout together, I had to keep in mind what's going on with our upper arms here. Most guys really just think, bicep. And so everything they do is bicep focused. The problem is big arms include your triceps, and your tricep muscle, all right, is actually bigger than your bicep. So if you neglect it or don't put enough work into it, I mean, you're just leaving a lot on the table when it comes to building arms. One of my really good friends is, of course, 30 years younger than me, and he's in the Marine Reserves. But the guy has got unbelievable triceps. I mean, he's got monster legs too, but his triceps are the most impressive muscle group in his upper body. And when he's wearing short sleeve shirts, it's just crazy how big his arms look. Not when he's flexing, just when he's just standing still or just walking. Especially if you're walking behind him, you can see these big old bulges sticking out, of his short sleeve shirt. So it's something that I spend plenty of time on triceps, and I probably don't spend enough time. So 5 exercises a day, 3 of them are tricep focused, 2 are bicep focused. So there you have it. Now, before I get into the 5 exercises today, I want to just kind of explain how I laid this workout out. I personally like to alternate between muscle groups, meaning we'll do one tricep exercise and then a bicep exercise and then a different tricep exercise and then a different bicep, et cetera, et cetera. I really like to do that because it gives each muscle group a little time to rest while you're hitting the other muscle group, so that when you come back to the first muscle group, it's had, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, all right, to flush all the lactic acid out of those muscles, and now you're ready to hit that muscle group again really hard. On top of that, not only does it work fantastic with that regard, but also it gives you an insane pump, guys. You're gonna love the pump after today's workout. Okay, so the first exercise is a tricep exercise. Remember, we're gonna start with a tricep and end with a tricep because we're doing 3 tricep focused exercises, and this is probably my favorite. I think it's the most effective. If you got to pick just one exercise for your tricep, and that is the tricep extension, or some people call it a tricep push down. So, I like to kind of bend down a little bit because I can already feel plenty of tension in these bands. So even at the beginning of the movement, I have resistance, and I just kind of stare down at the ground and come down until I lock my elbows out. Bring my hands down to the sides of my thighs, and you got to pick a resistance here, guys. It's tough to do for 8 to 12 reps with good form, and just experiment. You're gonna not really necessarily know the correct color combinations the first time, but once you figure it out, it's pretty easy to remember. You might want to write them down, what you use for each exercise. That way you don't have to guess next week when you do this workout. But man, you can get a fantastic burn doing this exercise. And then, I'm going to give myself about 60 seconds, maybe a minute and a half rest. And then I got to do it again, because remember, we're going to do each exercise for 2 sets. All right, so here we are moving on to the second exercise. And of course, now we're going to be focusing on our biceps. This is an incline bicep curl, all right? So it's a little different in that we're gonna be laying back like this, and see how much stretch you get in your bicep, all right? So I like to do them alternating, okay, with a little twist. You guys can elect to do them two-handed, all right? It doesn't really matter. If you're in a rush, all right, trying to push things a little more quickly, do them two-handed. It literally takes half the time, all right? So on every one of these exercises, I want you all to shoot for between 8 and 12 reps. Pick a weight that's really difficult to do for that 8 to 12 rep range. Because if you get to rep number 10 or 12 and you know you could really do another 4 or 5 reps with that weight, then that means you just didn't pick a heavy enough weight. All right. So guys, get a weight that's going to make you super fatigued once you start getting around rep number 8 or 9. All right. And that is how you pick the right weight. Matter of fact, a really good way to do this is to do one set like I just did there, alternating. Give yourself about 60 seconds rest in between sets, maybe 90 seconds, depending on how hard you push yourself. And then the next set, I'll do two-handed, all right? So that's a good way to just kind of mix things up, guys. All right, so exercise number 3, we're moving back to our triceps, guys. These are called tricep kickbacks, and you can only do one arm at a time. And in addition to that, you can't use much weight. Most of you guys are going to be doing 5 to 10 pounds because this is an exercise that's unfortunately just real easy to cheat on. And it just if you screw up your form, you're not going to feel it very much in your tricep. So get in a position here, and I want you to basically like row the weight up here and then hold your elbow right here. All right. And then you're just going to kick the dumbbell back. All right. You're trying to keep your elbow stationary and just squeeze your tricep and straighten your arm. And remember, guys, you want to, squeeze the weight up and then control it on the downward part of the movement. So you don't want to jerk it up and let it fall back down. That just uses momentum when I'm doing that. You want to push the weight back and lower it down under control. You want your tricep really working against the weight with both the concentric and eccentric part of the movement. And then we're just going to switch over to the other side. Remember, row it up to here. Now your elbow's in the correct position. Now you kick it back. All right, give yourself about 60 seconds, and then you gotta do one more set before moving on to the next exercise. All right, exercise number 4, we're moving over to biceps again. This is our second bicep exercise, and these are just your straightforward hammer curls, guys. I'm gonna be doing them two-handed. And once again, pick a weight that's difficult to do for 8 to 12 reps, guys. But difficult to do with good form. I mean, that's so important. You'd be surprised at how little weight some of these really big, jacked bodybuilders are using. All right. Let me just talk about that real quick. So I'm talking about the guys that are competing, not the crazy unlimited bodybuilders that just look goofy, but I'm talking the guys that are built kind of like me, except bigger, another 10, 15 pounds of muscle, and they're in their 20s and 30s. And I follow these guys on Instagram and YouTube, and I'm just kind of seeing what's going on out there. And when they're working out, I'll always zoom in so I can see how much weight they're using with some of these things. And you would be surprised. A lot of these guys, I mean, they're big. They're bigger than me, stronger than me, and a lot younger. And they're doing dumbbell curls with 35 pounds. Now, they're just doing incredibly strict form, and you can make a 35-pound dumbbell feel really heavy. But these guys, they're so big, they're not trying to impress people anymore with the amount of weight they can use. They know they're strong as hell. All right, now they're just worried about building muscle. And they have learned that mind-muscle connection is what really helps build muscle. So these guys, I mean, they are just, I mean, they're focusing on the muscle that they're working, all right? And when it comes to these bicep curls, man, crazy strict form, and somehow they can get a crazy burn and pump with relatively light weights. I rarely see guys using more than about 40, 45 pounds. And those are the big guys. Those are 240-pound dudes. You know, using 45-pound dumbbells for curls. Hell, I used to use that much just a few years ago. All right, here we are, closing it up with our fifth and final exercise. We're going back to a tricep. Remember, 3 tricep-focused exercises today and 2 bicep-focused exercises. And once again, we're doing each one of these for 2 sets. And I'm resting about 60 to 90 seconds between each set. If you guys really have a desire to build as big of arms as possible and you have time, just rest longer. The longer you rest between sets means the more intensity and heavier weight you can lift for the next set, right? And so that, you know, there's studies out there that say resting up to 3 minutes between sets is the optimal time for just building the most muscle. Now, you know, you won't get the cardio effect that you kind of get with kind of shorter rest periods, but still, that's a great way to build big arms. Now, this one is called an overhead tricep extension. Only 1 dumbbell, all right? Let me show you how to do this, guys, especially for guys that are using fairly heavy weight. We're always just gonna go first to our shoulder, and then I'm gonna put my hands under the flange here, okay? And I'm just gonna go straight up, and we're gonna do overhead extensions, all right? Go down as deep as you can, guys. The more range of motion, the better. When I'm real deep like this, I'm getting a big stretch with my triceps. And you can actually feel it. And then if you're doing this to like failure, right where that lactic acid is just killing you, and you don't know how you're gonna get this down without dropping it, you just go, catch your breath, let that lactic acid kind of get out of there, and then grab it with 2 hands, go to your thigh, and everything else is easy from here. So, 8 to 12 reps, give yourself a little break / rest, and then you gotta do it one more time before we're finished with today's arm workout. So there you go, guys. 5 great exercises to build big, jacked arms for everybody over 40. I promise it works. I'm 62, and I think I'm doing pretty good in the arm department. And then finally, guys, you can't build big arms overnight. You got to stick with it and never give up on yourself.
Guys, if you're struggling to build muscle or lose your gut and get lean, I'm looking for 5 dedicated men who want to go from average to impressive in the next 16 weeks. I want you to imagine getting looks at the beach as your newly forged chest and arms turn heads. I want you to picture in your head the pride you'll feel when you finally take off your shirt without reservation, revealing a lean midsection that showcases your dedication and hard work. To apply for this 16-week transformation, you must meet the following criteria. First, you must be at least 40 years old, no exceptions. Second, you must be able to dedicate at least 45 minutes per workout, a minimum of 3 times per week. And you can do these workouts at the gym or at your home. It's up to you. And finally, you must be able to start right away. So if that's you and you're ready to embrace a new and much improved body and life, brimming with self-confidence and capturing more attention from that special someone in your life, then click the link below and fill out the short application. From there, I'll contact you directly via text or email within 24 to 48 hours. And if we determine that we're a good fit to work together, we'll get started right away. Now, there is an investment because when money is involved, you obviously put in far more effort and consistency. That's why I'm putting my heart and soul into helping you build an attention-grabbing physique that blows guys half your age out of the water. And I expect you to be 100% committed as well. So click the link in the description below, fill out the short application form, and we'll talk soon. Did you find this video helpful? If so, please click the like button below, as it will significantly help out our channel. And guys, remember, always stick with it and never give up on yourself.